Okay, students, so this is our first class, new course, and our course name is what?
Phonetics and Phonology.
Okay. Okay, phonetics and phonology. That's right. It's not class test 1. Okay, so did you guys, noticed one thing? There are two names and they are adjoined within an end. Yes, that's right. Phonetics and phonology. So basically, there are two subjects we'll be covering by this course, and we'll be covering this course two more main subjects, and then in our midterm and final, the question paper should be held within these two fragmented subjects. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, so let's start the class. Today's class, phonetics and phonology. Okay, hey, can you see anything in that? Can you see anything? Can you see anything in the slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it said, just write that. Well, thank you for not smoking. Well, it's actually taken from a hotel which is in Chennai at India. I went there some time ago, and then I noticed one important thing that basically helps us to know what is phonology, what is phonetics, and how does this work. Yeah. So one more thing, or one most important thing, does that make any sense? In order to have a proper meaning, does this make any sense?
No.
It's just like then. It's not then. It's basically then, isn't it? Then, and then a word Q. Then for not smoking. Well, for not smoking is not indeed appropriate. Appropriate one is not for smoking. Not for smoking. The appropriatest one. But here they have said then give for not smoking. Well, in order, if we just talk about meaning, that doesn't make any sense. But if we talk about phonetics and phonology, that does make sense. See, something does make sense without even having a proper meaning. If we say thank you for not smoking, that will say thanks, basically. Thanks, isn't it? So basically someone is giving me thanks for not smoking. Forget about meaning, forget about the spelling. What we are actually speaking, what sound are we making? Thank you. Thank you. Well, it seems like thank you. Then Q, it seems like thank you. Thank you means someone is thanking me for not smoking or not for smoking, whatever. So basically, in phonetics and phonology, we will be dealing with sounds and sounds. That's right. So basically, for that reason, the picture has been taken. Okay. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so objectives. To enable learners, this course have some objectives to enable learners to develop an understanding of how different speech organs are used. Do you know what does that mean, speech organs? You can always take a note, no problem, but I will give it to you. No problem with that either, if you don't take any notes, because I'll be sharing these things as study materials. As we know, we have to study before night. Okay, so develop an understanding of how different speech organs, most important two things, speech and organs, are used. What does that mean, speech organs? Can anyone tell me that? The organs which is creating our speech sound, isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't it? As simple as that. Okay, and those are?
Vocal cord.
Vocal cord, okay.
Tongue.
Tongue, okay, tongue, then? teeth, yeah, teeth, sometimes, yeah, that's right. Lips, yeah, lips, that's right. Okay, so we will be studying about these organs and the functions of these organs. Okay, so then describe and categorize sound segments. Okay, describe and categorize. So there are some segments, okay, and we have to categorize those sound segments, and we will have to enable to be able to, I mean, which kind of things we have to, in our examination paper we have to write which sound is coming from where and how are they doing in order to make a sense, isn't it? We will be doing that. Okay, the number 3 point is gain an understanding of the pronunciation differences between native speakers and multilingual speakers of English. That's the most important thing, basically, I think we need to learn. So we will understand the pronunciation. Hey, what does that mean, pronunciation? Can you say?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What
Then say.
sound?
What sound? Okay, sound. Making sound, maybe, huh? What sound we are making, how we are making, isn't it? What we are making and how we are making. Hey, okay, no, let me do it first. So difference, pronunciation difference, that means how we make sounds versus how the native speakers make sounds. That's right, between native speakers and multilingual speakers. Hey, one more important thing, as it's an example, then you could learn it better, that I can say, what is your name? What? See, what is your name? What? Okay, and I can say also, what is your name? What is your name? What is your name? Can you see any difference between those two things? Can you say any difference between two things? Between two things. Between two things. Between. Between. Can you say any difference between those two sounds?
Silence of T.
Silence of T. Okay, that's quite a bit explanatory. Okay. Any other thing? I mean, without stating a T, how can I be able to give the perfect pronunciation or understanding of the sound T? How? Basically, that's we are actually talking about, that some pronunciation differences actually occurs between us and them. Us means non-native speakers and them means the native speakers. Most of the Britishers and Britishers. See, there's no T, but at least there is something. There are some things which is replacing the T sound. Okay, so basically these are the things that is happening around us. But after this course, I hope we will be able to understand and make others understand how these work. Why someone is saying, what is your name, and why someone is saying, what is your name? That's right, what is your name? Yes, that's right. We are doing something, yes, that's right, we are doing something, and we will be able to explain that very thing, okay, after the end of the course and during the end of our lectures. Okay, so then next number is become familiar with English spoken in casual and formal context. That's important thing. That's an important thing for your educational purpose. Basically, we use English, but we do not know, sometimes we do not know what to speak, when to speak, and how to speak, because we cannot differentiate between the formal context and the informal context. Okay, so that's important, because in order to write properly, we have to write in your examination papers, we have to write formal English. That's right, academic English. We would write. We would say academic English. Yeah, that's not. We will not say formal. We will say academic English. Academic English and formal English basically are two words basically interchangeably connected. So no problem with that. Okay, so that's important for our writing. Do you know one thing? Let me ask you, do you know what are these two things, huh? Can you say? Okay. Do you know these are not formal?
Yes.
We cannot write it in the examination paper. We know that?
Yes.
Some of you may know, some of you may do not know, but we cannot write these words in our examination paper. We have to write cannot, could not, do not. That's right. Okay. So there are some differences between formal and informal. That means academic and non-academic English. We will talk about that during this course, and we will be teaching you this very little thing. Okay. Transcribe speech using the IPA. That's the most important thing, and that's where you will be suffering most. Okay. So I'm not talking about that. I'm not actually making you feel fear, but that's a thing we have to learn. Okay, some IPS symbols are there, some IPS symbols which is actually for making us easier, make our transcriptions and make our sounds easier. Basically we have to write some transcriptions. That's quite easy. There are some alphabets. Okay, there are some alphabets, not like unlike English alphabets, they have their own functions. We have to memorize it and we have to practice it. That could be much more easier, no problem of that. But if you do not practice it regularly, then the news is not good. Okay, so we have to practice it, the IPS symbols. Okay, and transcription. Transcribe means transcription. I eat rice. I eat rice. That's not transcription, that's a written form of I eat rice, but there's a symbol for I, there's a symbol for eat, and rice, r-a-e-c, rice. There are assigned symbols. We will talk about that. We will learn those things. Okay, so and we will practice, and then voila, we will win the match maybe. Okay. So the next thing is identify problems of Bengali learners of English and design activities for ESL learners. ESL, can anyone say ESL meaning?
ESL. Yes sir, it's a program.
Right, but what does that mean?
English second language.
English as a second language. English as your second language, ESL program. That's right, because we all know English is not our mother tongue and it's not our first language. So we have to learn English as a second language. Okay, and we have been facing some problems regarding English. Basically most of them are for pronunciation. See why? Because ta. Say, what is your name? Tomato. Okay, tomato. Or maybe transcription. If we Bengali speakers say this transcription, because we do not have th, there's a specific IPS symbol for that. In Bengali language we do not have that. That's why we say ghost instead of ghost, because in Bengali we have go and gho, but ghost. In Bengali, if we say gh, it is equivalent of, everyone please, gh, if we say it is equivalent of this word, yes, gho. Well, don't mind my writing please. Okay, so this is the equivalent of that word in gho. That means ghor, ghor, and everything else. Okay, so in English there's no gho, there's only go. So it's ghost. Okay, it's ghost. That's right. So in Bengali sometimes we say it's a ghost story, a horror story which refrains of a ghost. But that's not right, because we trained ourselves from the very early childhood. We train ourselves some speeches within our organs, speech related organs. We train them in such a way that we are basically forget other things rather than that. That means if we train our mouth and our organs, speech organs perfectly, we can pronounce any sound we want. So that's why this course is very relevant to this world also, because okay, so in Scottish English basically, forget about Scottish English. In British English, they say glottal stop, glottal stop, which is basically what, or hat. I need a hat, man. That means hat. Okay, I need a hat, man. So hat or what. In America, if we say I need a hat, man, so they will say I need a hat, man. But in Britain, they will say I need a hat, man. So glottal stops are not present in American English, but in British English they used to say those glottal stops. So see, some speakers, some languages have some certain what can I say, some certain features a language have, then the speakers actually train themselves to acquire that language 100%, so they forget other things. And by learning phonetics and phonology, we will make a contemporary, we can compare it to one another, and then we can say, okay, this language contains of that, and this language contains of that. So there are difference. If we find these kinds of situation, so that could be in this language, and if we find that certain kind of situation, that could be in that language. Okay, so there are some problems for Bengali learners. We will be talking about that during this course. Okay, so it's your syllabus. Okay, do not panic. The syllabus is not so long. We will shorten it, inshallah. We will shorten it for midterm. We will do some, very trivial thing, very shorter thing, the things you would love to do, the things you like to do, and for finals we will do some other things. No problem with that. But these are the syllabus, and I'll be sharing it to you. So no problem of that. You do not have to photograph. Click by a photograph. Yes, do not take a picture of that, because I'll be sharing it to you. Okay, so what are there? We have to at least talk about that. So organs of speech articulators, we all know that by now, teeth, tongue, anything. Okay, and categorization of speech sound segments. So there are some segments out there we will categorize. First, primarily segmental and suprasegmental and segmental. Those are the two main forms, but we will talk about whenever your lecture occurs. Okay. So English short, long vowels and diphthongs. So there are three kind of sounds. Basically, those are sounds: short vowel sounds, long vowel sounds, and diphthong sounds. English contains, in order to make vowel sounds, A, E, I, O, U, just 5 letters. Those are not sounds. Those 5 letters consist of 3 kinds of sound: short vowel sounds, long vowel sounds, and diphthong sounds. Okay, so these are only for the vowels. We will talk about that. Okay, consonant phonemes and their places and manner of articulation. Okay, phoneme. Can anyone say what does that mean? Phoneme?
Phoneme is the shortest form of phonetics.
The shortest form of phonetics. Phonology. Phoneme. The smallest unit of phonetics.
I guess the
Phonetics. Or should we say the shortest unit, the smallest unit of a sound? How does that work? Yeah, isn't it? The shortest unit of a sound. The shortest unit of a sound is called phoneme. Yes, that's right. Okay, so Where are we? Consonant phonemes and their places of manner of articulation. So there are maybe 25 consonant phonemes and their places and manners of articulation. Maybe, I do not know now, but afterwards we all will know that. Okay.
So that means the shortest form of a sound of any language.
English.
In English.
English phoneme. We will be talking about English only. Okay. So the next thing is phonetic and phonological characteristics of English consonant phonemes. We all know that by now. Different airstream mechanisms and state of glottis. Most important thing. So there are three main things you can write it. We will be enjoying three main things in phonetics and phonology. 1, place of articulation. Number 2, manner of articulation. And then number 3, the state of glottis. I can write it. Maybe. I should write it maybe. Well, who were at the late students, please ask those who were not. We set some ground rules. Okay, pardon my handwriting, and maybe there are some spelling mistakes also. Maybe not, I do not know. Well, spelling mistakes do not count, and handwriting also do not count. Okay, so there are three main things. 1, place of articulation. Number 2, manner of articulation. Place of articulation means in which place this. No, we do not need to do that, we just write. Okay, so number 1, place of articulation. Okay, and that means which consonant sound is articulating, is making a sound from where. Okay, and then the manner of articulation, that means how we are expressing the sound. The place, the manner, whether it's a plosive sound, whether it's a voiced sound, whether it's a non-voiced sound, voiced or non-voiced. That means in Bengali we have learned ghosh or ghosh borno maybe. Oh, that's right. So just kind of that sounds. Place of articulation has gone. Manner of articulation, from where and how we will make the sound. How, where, place, how, manner. And the state of glottis. The state of glottis, that means whether it's voiced or non-voiced, or how the glottis is working when this sound is going to occur. Okay. So basically, phonetics and phonology, it's not a very much interesting subject because it's related towards science. But if we can enjoy it, if we can do it properly, if we can learn the sound system, the sounds, and that working, and without actually feeling shy, we can say whatever we are understanding, then we can learn it really, really very well, and it's really great to learn. Okay, so different stream mechanism and state of glottis we have done in phonemes, phones, and allophones. We will talk about that. Phonemes, the smallest unit of sound. Phone, the sounds, and allophones, that means allophone, allomorphs, actually comparatively closer, but not actually similar. It's closer, but it's not similar. See, pa, that means pocket, and ba, that means balls. Okay, so these two are quite closer, but these two are quite different sounds, isn't it?
Yes.
So we will talk about that also. Okay, minimal pairs, complementary distribution, overlapping distribution, and free variation, minimal pairs. That means what I have talked. Well, there are some minimal pairs. That means in English language there are some problem if we just say one thing rather than another. That means cool, cool means cold, and tool means a seat. Tool, huh? See, tool, cool, quite similar but different, isn't it? And then in Bengali, if we say pool, that means a bridge, and fool, a flower, isn't it? That means, the sound is actually occurring in the same way, but for some instant they are different, and that's why voila, the meaning is completely otherwise, isn't it? Pool means a bridge and fool means a flower. Okay, so English syllable structure and phonotactics, it's not going to, we are not going to learn that, because that would really you will feel burden of that syllabus. Okay, strong and weak syllables, it's important. Strong syllables, weak syllables, it's basically for, excuse me. Okay, so it's actually our channel's phone, no problem. Okay, so strong and weak syllables are most important things, because we have to learn which syllable we have to stress and which syllable we do not have to stress. In English is a stress-based language. We have to stress, we have to put stress on something. See, what have I said? Just example, we have to put a stress on something. I have said we have to put a stress on something, but in language I said we have to put a stress on something. That means we have to put it's not very important in this sentence, but stress is very important to that. Okay, so that's why we need strong syllables and weak syllables. That's very important. Okay, stress and intonation, well, quite similar to that. Aspect of connected speech, we will learn that by actually learning our lectures. So for example, that's if I say, okay everyone, pen and paper on the table, that means bring your copies on the table, isn't it? That means start writing. Okay everyone, pen and paper on the table. See, I've said pen and paper, but I'm saying pen and paper on the table. So that's how aspect of connected speech. So some weak things basically drop down and the important things remain connected. Okay. Transcription of speech using the IPA, that's the most important thing, and there you will lose your marks maybe. I'm not making you fearful, but that's the true story. But I hope we will learn, we will practice. Basically that's a matter of practice. Every other else thing is a matter of knowledge and understanding, but IPA symbols and transcription is a matter of practice. The more you practice, the more you will learn, isn't it?
Yes.
The sleepyhead, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone, identifying the problems of Bengali learners of English, we all know that by now, but we will identify even it further. Okay, designing activities for teaching pronunciation. That's how we can learn the proper pronunciation of that.